Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Lisa Natoli, and welcome everyone here to this Facebook Live. I am so excited to bring to you my dear friend, Sheva Carr. And what this is about 20 minutes, and it's really just a chance for you to get to know Sheva and to hear a little bit about her upcoming talk, which is going to be during the Awareness Conference, which is April 16, 17, and 18, which is next weekend, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, totally free. There's going to be a link right here in the chat board so you can sign up. And I do encourage everyone to upgrade to the All Access Pass. There's tons of bonuses. You will get all the recordings, but you don't have to. So it's totally free. Come and enjoy the entire weekend. If you click that link, you will be able to see the schedule. Sheva is on Friday. She's one of the first speakers. She's going to be on at 12 o'clock Friday Eastern. There is going to be all four of the speakers for the first session. And then Sheva Carr is at 1 o'clock Eastern. So before I turn it over to Sheva, I ask all of you here to hit the share button. So one of the things I know as a teacher is oftentimes people are out in the world praying for a miracle and they see something on Facebook. I just got chills. And their life is going to be changed forever because they saw something on Facebook because you shared it. So I want to really encourage you all, if you see something that is just amazing and inspiring and encouraging, post it on your wall, really, because people are out there right now struggling. They're sad, they're scared, they're angry, they're lost, they're confused. And if you share it and they come and they hear something that's going to change their life, they're going to thank you. So please hit the share button now. And I'm so excited. I didn't know Sheva a year ago, and I actually did not know Sheva. I saw her for the very first time in one of these conferences. This is the third conference. The one I met her in was called the Pure Presence Conference. She blew my flipping mind. She absolutely blew my mind. And ever since that session, I saw you, Sheva, in under 5 minutes, change the entire experience of over 100 people. I watched it in real time. And then I just went and I followed Sheva. And she is I'm just going to read a little bit. She is the architect and director of HeartMath's Heart Mastery Program. She is the co-director of HeartMath Healthcare and the CEO of Fiera Heart Ambassadors and the founding executive director of Fiera Foundation and the Sunflower Sunpower Kids. Her talk next weekend is called Heart Science, that explains why an open heart knows the truth, how to tap into it anytime, anywhere. Welcome, Sheva.
Oh, Lisa, thank you so much. I really deeply appreciate how you began this because about a week and a half ago, one of my favorite social media influencers, a beautiful young woman named Lee, who was very into camper van living and cherishing the natural worlds and our environment, commit suicide. And I am still so saddened in a really poignant, caring way about this, because when I got that news, I thought, oh, I wish I had had a personal, not just a Facebook watching her kind of connection. I could have helped. And let's say maybe it wouldn't have been me that could have helped, but the power of her own heart and the power that is in us, the intelligence in us to access what lies at the heart of all being that is also in us, could have prevented that suicide. It certainly prevented me from committing suicide at a similar moment in my life decades ago, which is really how I came to this work. So thank you for acknowledging the pain and the suffering that's out there, because heart intelligence and heart power is an antidote to it. And as you pointed out, an instant it could be very instant antidote to it. So rather than explain it, as we will in the talk, let's do it. Let's access it. I just first want to invite everyone to take a moment to focus your attention in the area around your heart. If you find it helpful, you can put your hand there, or in my case, double hands. And with your attention centered in the heart area, imagine the breath is flowing in through the heart and out through the heart. Breathing just a little slower and deeper than usual. If you find it helpful, and there's physiological reasons why this is useful, if it's comfortable for you, you could count to 5 as you breathe in and count to 5 as you breathe out. And I just invite you to continue that heart-focused breathing as a little experiment in your own life laboratory with me for a moment, observing as you breathe in through the heart and out through the heart. Are there any changes you notice in your body, your emotions, or your thought process? And if you want to respond in the comments in this Facebook Live, our trusted ally, Cindy, I hear, is going to deliver them to us. So as you observe yourself doing this heart-focused breathing, what happens to your body? What happens to your emotions, your thoughts? Do you have more awareness? Like right away when I do it, I hear the hum of our refrigerator in the other room. I become more aware of my surroundings. When we're training these skills in healthcare or the military or law enforcement, they call that situational awareness. It's a technical term that could save lives. But that opening of the aperture of self and situational awareness in the more spiritual work that we do here also could save a life from suicide. Because we get tunnel vision and our life looks like the problem in front of us when we cut off access to our heart's intelligence. And there could be, if we're looking at life through this little tiny peephole and all we see is the problem we're facing, and it looks hopeless, of course. But the solution and loved ones and the joy waiting for us in our future, and even some of the joys of our past, are invisible to us in this state called cortical inhibition, if you want to know the neurological term for it.
I figured out how to multitask here. So everyone, I am looking at the comments. So for those of you, Kristen says, I made time this morning, listened to the poll and have been holding on to it more or less. If anybody wants to post in here, what, just as Sheva said, what did you feel when you allowed yourself to really go into the heart and to focus there? When I do it, I just imagine, it's not even imagining, it is an instant sense of rest and peace and just like, oh my God, like it was always available.
Right. I know when I first learned this tool, I thought, why didn't anybody teach me that peace was right here in my own heart, accessible with a little breathing technique? Now, you know, like when I was in kindergarten, I know my parents wish somebody taught it to me before I turned 16, let me tell you. But I also don't want to be idealistic here. Sometimes when we go to the heart, just like when you open a closet and decide to do spring cleaning, sometimes all that stuff is suddenly in your face, and that can happen if you've closed the door to your heart for a long time. But there are other tools that we'll talk about on Friday on how to, when you open that door to the heart, how to clean out what's in there so that you can open that aperture of your awareness and see the beauty and see the joy in life again. When I came to this work, I had undiagnosed post-traumatic stress from working with street children in a war zone in Nicaragua. I was absolutely devastated by what I had seen there and came back to North America from that aid work, absolutely devastated. I learned this work out of self-preservation. So I had to learn that the care I felt for the children there who were in desperate circumstances wasn't helping me when it was in the form of anxiety and outrage and enrage and injustice. It was just making me sick and it wasn't helping them. So let's do another experiment in your life laboratory. I just want to acknowledge we got pain to purpose in the chat. That's exactly it. Yes. The heart is like a key in the door to turn from pain to open into a world of purpose. So if you could identify something in the world today or in your own life that's perhaps got you a little down. We don't have to be down to access the heart. It's just that the heart becomes the diving board into moving from black and white Kansas to Technicolor Oz, a whole new world of possibility when we access its power and its intelligence. So, and all of this is physiologically based. We're going to talk about this science on Friday that gives us this awe and wonder about how we in the world could work when we're back in phase and alignment with the heart. So identify one thing that concerns you about the world today. It could be anything. For me right now, vulnerably, and this is not heart math talking, this is a Sheva thing, the destruction of our old growth forests. I live, as you can see, in an old growth forest. And we were, when I met Lisa, actually, we were evacuated from wildfires that had come through this area, putting 2,000-year-old trees in jeopardy. So if I worry about the trees, then what I do is produce this chaotic pattern in my heart's rhythm, like shaking this computer. And then you're not seeing me clearly when my computer is doing that. That's actually chaos in our internal physiology. But if I transform that worry into what is at the core of it, because we don't worry or angst or feel indignant or outraged or enraged about what we don't care about. It's love. I have never met an emotion that didn't have at its core love, not a single one. But if I can penetrate the core of all emotion to love, that's mastery, and the heart helps me do that. So if you could take a moment right now to identify what you care about and what you're concerned about. What do you love? What core value is in jeopardy, or what person, place, or being matters so much to you that you're willing to throw yourself into concern about it? Maybe it's yourself. Self-love works, but love is at the root. So now try an experiment with me. Notice what's happening in your body, your emotions and your thoughts when you're in concern or indignation or outrage or frustration. And shift your attention from that. You could pick a word that summarizes that. For me, it's worry about the forest. You could put that word in the comments if you want. And now, this is alchemy, but physiological alchemy that we can explain with over 1,400 things that change in your body and mind when your heart rhythms go into this uniquely ordered, what we call coherent pattern that creates physiological coherence system-wide, making you more effective for what you love and care about.
I don't see any comments right yet for the words, but I just wanted to jump in here real quick and just The audience that mostly is on this page is Course in Miracles students and teachers. And the reason why I resonated so deeply with you, Sheva,
Mm.
is because of something that you just said. Like you said, what do you feel in your body? And I find that a lot of times in myself for years as a Course in Miracle teacher and many on a spiritual path, they try to avoid the body. Like they try to avoid feeling. They think I'm not a body. It's all a concept. And so when I heard you talk, I knew that it was like the next step for me. And for those of you who don't know, I was so deeply moved by Sheva Carr and the work she does that I actually became a heart math certified trainer. And I'm blessed that she was
And a mighty good one at that.
thank you so much. And Sheva was my personal mentor. Like it was like Christmas morning when I heard that she was going to be my personal mentor. And I feel like this really is so, so important for anyone who's listening. If you have had a lot of spiritual concepts, coming back into the body, and a lot of the teachers in the awareness conference this weekend talk about this, being in the discomfort. And often there can be this thing of like, oh, I'm okay. I'm not a body. The pain's it's okay. And this is really coming into the present and acknowledging everything and then the shift. So if you can just talk a little bit about that, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. But first, let's have the experience and then we'll dive right in. So, because you'll start to see that conceptualizing a spiritual ideal to disconnect from discomfort in the body would be like driving your car down the freeway and deciding that you'll drive better if the engine light isn't flashing at you. So you cover it with duct tape. Feedback from the body is feedback to help us come into congruence and integrity with our spiritual ideals in an actualized way. So if you pay attention right now to how your worry, concern, frustration, or indignation or outrage at some global event affects your body, the feedback your body is giving you is information about the energy you're running and how aligned it is with your spirit. Not to judge, we don't need to judge it any more than we judge the engine light when it's flashing. It's information. It's information that's really valuable for guiding us to take care of our vehicle so we can get where we want to go and live our purpose. So now shift your focus of attention to the area around your heart, the chest area. Imagine your breath is flowing in through the heart and out through the heart. Breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. Again, if you find it helpful, you could count to 5 as you breathe in and count to 5 as you breathe out. That balances the autonomic nervous system, by the way, which opens up as the heart rate, as you're doing this heart-focused breathing. Well, now we're going to do the open heart to truth maneuver that we'll talk a lot more about on Friday. Breathe your love for whatever that thing is you have concern for in through your heart and out through your heart. So for me, I'm radiating the penetrating love I have for the ancient old growth trees, and I'm just radiating my love to them.
There
Does that
are two comments, and that's perfect. This one was traumatized children, and one was trophy killing of animals. And I just love that practice of love, breathing in love and breathing out love for these things we're concerned for.
Oh, thank you for sharing those. As a collective, we could breathe love right now to traumatized children. I've done this actually, and to animals that are the victims of violent crime and exploitation. Invariably, when I do this, the path opens to be of direct service. We'll talk more about that on Friday, but what I want you to observe right now is as you breathe love to those things, what happens in your body, your emotions? Is it more energy conservation for you? Does it make you more effective or less effective?
More
What you
effective.
can know is that it just changes 1,400 things in your physiology, including sending a signal up the vagus nerve to that part of us that's just fixated on the problem,
Yeah.
opening the aperture of our awareness through what's called cortical facilitation, greater innervation and blood flow to that more of our brain that Einstein supposedly used that the rest of us don't. Well, the key to opening your Einstein brain is in your heart. Then you literally get more awareness, more solution seeking capacity, more problem solving, more visionary foresight, more purpose. That is the physiology of enlightenment.
Yeah.
So when we just stuff down the feedback we're getting, we're actually cutting ourselves off from our broader intelligence, not living into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Jane, who was the one who wrote about the trophy killing of animals, just said calming.
And
So
so we could ask Jane, and we could all ask ourselves, will we be better advocates for animals if we maneuver our sense of purpose to care for them with calm, or if we're frenetic and frazzled and upset? That's the heart of this work, is to transform our overcare into that true care. And we'll talk more about that mastery and empower it with more tools on Friday.
I love that. Well, Sheva, I can't wait. So what I ask everybody to do now is press that button, sign up. Like I said, it's totally free. Mark your calendar for Sheva. It is Friday at 12 o'clock is Sheva Carr will be on with a panelist of other four. And there's only one drawback to this conference, is that some of the sessions overlap with some of the other teachers. And that's the only drawback, because once you go to, when you hear everyone, you're like, I want to go to that session. I want to go to that session. I want to go to that session. I want to go to that session.
It's actually already happened to me. I got the schedule and I'm like, but I want to see everyone that's talking at the same time.
And that's the beauty of the all access pass, because then you can go to one live and then you can watch the other ones on the recording. But that is the only drawback to the weekend. It is the biggest party in town. You are going to hear some amazing teachers, individuals you may have never seen or heard before. So please share this link also. Just thank you, Sheva, for sharing what you shared about your friend. There are people out there who really are praying for a miracle. They're just waiting for something, and they're looking. They're on Facebook. They're like, maybe I'll see something. And
then we can utilize Facebook to drive people where the miracle really is. They're looking for it here in their devices, but it's here.
Exactly.
And we can use Facebook to direct people back to the heart of who they are. Lisa, I know we're at time, but you yourself had a little miracle at the Pure Presence Summit with your body that totally changed the direction of your life in a way.
Yeah. So I had dry mouth, and it's been an issue for years. And that is really one of the reasons I followed Sheva, because I couldn't, it literally disappeared like that. And I'm like, I have to learn how this is. And so for me to actually go into the physiology of the body as a Course in Miracle teacher for 30 years was a lot of resistance at first. But when I saw the immediacy of staying open to another kind of teaching, including the body, it was like, okay, this really is the next step. Heart math is genius. It's brilliant. It really is life changing. I feel a sense of excitement for people to know that your heart and you in connection with the heart and becoming one with it literally opens up a whole like power of healing. in a very physical, real way, not just mental here. We're going to get out of here into the heart and access heart mastering. So thank you, Sheva.
Thank
You are
you
lighting
so
this
much,
up.
Lisa. I so look forward to being together on Friday.
I will definitely be there. Thank you all for watching.